Two douchebags on a couch. One's an asshole, one's a grouch. And relentless, all their mouths. Jim and Eddie. Talk shit, Jim.
That's fun. Yeah,
Talk shit.
Shut the fuck up. I can't hear. Yeah.
So welcome to Jim and Eddie Talking Shit. That was our brand new song done by Jason Hour. Actually the guy who we thought could do nothing came through.
He did very well in it. But I have the debate on, there's a lyric in it that says one's an asshole, one's a grouch, and he won't say which one's which. And I assume...
He put it up to us.
I assume I'm the grouch.
And I think I'm the asshole too. But when I asked him, he said, I don't know, you guys can figure that out yourself.
Well, see, you're a mean guy, but you're very upbeat. I'm a nice guy, but I'm just a bit grouchy.
Yeah, I would think I'm the asshole. Because I do, but he thinks you're more evil to him.
Yes, because he's a fat cunt.
So Jason, you know, if you've heard any of our last episodes, Jason is the guy that lives on our couch that we terrorize, and we're on the couch right now, so he probably is angry that we're doing the show from his bed.
Now, we have to apologise at this stage right now, because in episode 2, we did claim that we went on Match.com, and we lined up Jason with a date, and we were going to invite a woman to come over to the house to date Jason, and then we were going to bombard her with questions. The problems being that even with the most desperate people on earth, we could not find a girl who wanted to date Jason. And we've even lied on the profile.
Yeah, we did. The profile, the poor girls that even read his profile weren't, it was nothing about him because what girl really is going to go on Match.com and go, I'm looking for a guy that doesn't have a job, doesn't have a house, doesn't have a car, and
overweight. Don't forget overweight.
Overweight and
bad odor,
and also believes he could start his own government.
Yeah. So you didn't get a date, but we're going to get you one.
Well, we did. I haven't told you this, Jim. I sent out a bunch of emails from him, and we did receive after 1 week one response from a girl that he winked at, and here's what she wrote to him. Her name is, I don't want to say her name in case somebody
with his
finds
personal
her.
hygiene, though, when he winks at someone, it just looks like conjunctivitis.
She said, hi, how are you doing? Thanks for the wink back. Your profile made me laugh because it was so brief, and you can tell you were in a rush when you wrote it. No, he just has nothing to say about himself.
No, he could have been busy. There was lots of things he could have been up to.
She said, any chance of some more pictures soon? Now, we posted a picture of Jason. We went through his Facebook profile and found one good photo of him that we could post. And so the next day, did you hear about this? He said to me, tomorrow I have a photo shoot. And I go, what's your photo shoot for? He goes, I'm thinking about getting into acting again. And
are you really getting a photo shoot, Jason? You getting a photo shoot?
Well, my friend Cammy wants to do headshots for me for her portfolio, so yeah.
For her portfolio.
Yeah, she must be desperate for models.
No, she's good. No, she's got like good work.
And is she going to show how good she is by making you look good?
What, is she trying to be a photographer on a Star Wars film? What does she need you as a fucking model for?
Are they shooting Lord of the Rings 4? Look at my Middle-earth shots. So anyway, so then he finally admitted to me that the headshots were for Match.com.
Yes. Did you do different lighting?
It's just random that someone wanted to do my headshots at the same time.
Oh, so
No.
This just all came together.
Yeah,
the universe is working for you.
Law of attraction kind of stuff, yeah.
Law of attraction.
Yeah.
The girl wants to build a portfolio, so she asks you to take some photos, and you think that's attraction.
No,
This is why you'll die alone.
That creepy laugh in the background is our guest for today. We've got Brian McCarthy on the show.
Hello, Brian.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. Thank you very much.
He didn't even want to be here. I forced him down here.
Great to be
He's
here.
come over to the house, and he as we do, like, he wanted to buy a drink and everything for everybody, so you just give Jason money and you send him on his way, and he comes back and everything. But I gave up drinking 2 weeks ago, and everyone else in the room right now, I was about to call it a studio for fuck's sake. Everybody else in the room right now is drinking, and I'm desperate for a beer.
Yeah.
But
why aren't you drinking?
because I was shitting blood.
Usually when people quit drinking, it's a story like, I got in a fight with my girlfriend, I called her really bad names, or I lost all my money. I never hear, I was shitting blood.
I know, I was shitting blood. And for the longest time, I thought it was just bad hemorrhoids, and I stopped drinking.
Could be bad gay sex.
See, the thing is with hemorrhoids, I started getting hemorrhoids when I was a very young lad at about 22. And the first time it ever happens to you, you're like, oh fuck, I got hemorrhoids. No, you don't know what hemorrhoids are because your dad never sits you down, does he? And give you the talk.
No, your
He
mom
doesn't
does.
No, your dad never sits you down and goes, when you're a bit older, you'll be urging out a poo and a small portion of your asshole will fall out. Now, nothing to be alarmed about.
Let's get more into hemorrhoids, but I have one last thing to say about Jason's Match.com profile. She said, I'm out to my friend's birthday just now, so write back if you have the time, or if you prefer to chat. My cell number is
Just miss out the last couple of digits, but give them the
310-883-867-5309. We have her number, basically, and we could call her right now.
We could call her right now.
Or have Jason call her and try to ask her out.
Or you could write back, I prefer to talk on Skype. I see it's more personal. Like that. See if we could Skype her.
I'd rather just... Oh, she wouldn't Skype now because she's out at a friend's birthday.
And from the looks, from the looks of her,
Oh, actually, it came out on September 10th, and on September 11th, somebody blew her up because she looked like a building.
do you know? Every September the 11th, just out of respect, I don't play Jenga. I haven't played Jenga on September the 11th since that. Am I mentioning?
Are you doing bits?
No. I have a problem with stupid fucking Americans and the way you put the month first and the day. It's the day first.
No. We changed everything in this country.
When you ask someone the date, what bit of information do you want first? The month or you know what fucking month it is? You know what year it is? The day. The day's the quintessential bit of information.
Why is it different here? I don't even know why.
Because you people are cunts.
Okay.
You have to do everything a little bit different.
We drove on the other side of the road. We pronounce, or we don't pronounce our H's.
I'm just going
Do
to
you
blame
know
the
that?
Jews. I'm just going to say the Jews.
See, they call H. Say H.
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 It's like you sat on H and wrote it into some sort of consonant
H.
hill.
Like hammer.
Wait,
Bums me out somewhat.
Herb, like an herb that you put on food.
Herb.
Say gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea.
It's like you're slamming words into my ear or
That
something.
one's the same.
Whenever they're disgusting, you keep them out.
They
Like
say like whore. is the
hemorrhoid.
same.
Hemorrhoid has a silent.
Hemorrhoid. No, we say that the
It's a
same.
little weird.
When I went to my doctor when I had the hemorrhoid when I was 22, I bent over and I told him I had ass cancer. And he bends me over and he pokes around with his glove on around my ass. And he goes, you got hemorrhoids? And I said, I thought that only happened to old people and pregnant women. And he went, and you.
That's funny.
I went for an STD check once, and the doctor goes, he first thing he did, he goes, put your hands on the table, turn around, and then he goes, now I'm going to spread your butt cheeks. And I went, why? Like, I've never heard of that. Like, why does a doctor...
Then he actually just went in because he had a sprained ankle.
And by the way, you should say that the first time I went in for an STD. It's
I
better.
always get checked. I try to make sure that I'm
Fuck.
clean.
When was the last time you got checked? Be honest. Be honest.
Does having a girl
No.
call... Wait. When a girl calls you to tell you that she's clean, that you've had sex with, does that count?
That's the test I have as well. That's the test I have. And I always think if the girl you've been fucking gets pregnant within the next year, they got to test pregnant women for things, right?
Yeah.
You can't have a baby
How
fall
many
out.
girls have you gotten pregnant?
No, I've never gotten a girl pregnant, but if I'm like that bad Dane Cook film, and that doesn't narrow it down. I'm like that good luck Chuck film that every girl who fucks me, the next boyfriend she has, she gets knocked up with. It's always like a year apart or something.
I've had that thing where a girl gets knocked up, and I'm pretty sure it's mine, but the girl scrambles to find any other guy that she can blame it on.
Eddie Heft.
I'm pretty sure I have a baby in England, and
Really?
I go on Facebook. I look at this kid all the time to see if it looks like me.
You never told me this.
Yeah. I met her in South Africa. And then she met up with me in England. I had
That's
sex with
not
her.
a baby, that's a ball of AIDS.
Right. Mom, here's my
Ball of-
kiffer.
6 months
Wasn't it
later.
nice how the mum always kept herself trim?
6 months later, the girl shows up at one of my shows in Jongleurs, Southampton, and she goes, I have a surprise for you. She called me. She goes, I have a surprise for you. She shows up 6 months pregnant. And I go, is that mine? She goes, no, it was some guy after you. And I go, you sure? She goes, yeah, I'm sure. And I go, what does he do? She goes, he's an electrician. And I thought, she would rather have an electrician's baby.
The weird thing is the guy that she's claiming is the father is black. That's how much she doesn't want you to be the dad. She's just saying it's a genetic throwback, and that's why it looks nothing like it. Was that when we were both in South Africa?
I met her the year before.
Oh, right.
When we were in South Africa, I was on crutches.
Did we tell a story about me getting an AIDS test?
No, but you did say the funniest thing you've ever said in South Africa. We were in a van driving through South Africa. Jim and I, that's kind of where we met on these weird tours all over the world. We're driving in a van coming from the resort, or from the gig to the resort where we were staying. And I go to Jim, hey, Jim, what's the closest you've ever come to date rape? And he didn't even hesitate. He goes, rape?
Funny.
Okay, that sounds good. I remember that. I'll say that again on a different podcast.
All right, so should we call Jason's girl?
Yeah, we can cut this out if it doesn't work.
It's a weeknight. It's late.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's.
She emailed me 4 days ago.
Oh,
Are you-
no,
okay, well, hold on,
It
hold
is
on,
true.
hold
It is
on.
late.
I don't
No.
think it's strategically.
Jason, are you the least bit interested in this girl?
I don't even know what.
You know which one.
Yes.
'Cause I've shown you her
No, you're
picture.
not. No, you're not. We discussed her.
You said she was
You
too
think
heavy
she's
for you.
Too heavy.
Oh my God.
But she's,
The term beggars can't be choosers comes to fucking.
That's the pot calling the kettle fat.
Man's world.
No, he said that. Eddie said that, Jason, not me. Don't give me the look because he called you fat. Now you look fat and stupid.
she's got a glass of wine in every photo.
With cookie dough in it.
She mixed up the ice cubes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm having myself a spritzer. Even from the way she types in a letter, she looks fat, like her fat fingers are.
There's spaces between the letters.
Yeah, she tried to press the E and the word QWERTY came out.
That's her.
Hang on, she's not that bad.
She's fat.
That's a bit. She looks like she's had a stroke,
This isn't a bad thing,
but
really.
she's got a good profile picture on one side. The other one looks like she's unhappy and sleepy.
she's got no full body shots.
No full body shots.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, we haven't seen neck down on her at all. You can tell she's got the fat arms too.
I got
Bat wings.
a mate who's disabled, and we wanted to. Okay, I got another friend. Okay, I'll tell you this story. I got another friend of mine called Rob Heaney, who's on one of these sites, and he dates all the chicks and stuff, right? And they reckon that the biggest complaint that women have on all these dating sites is about 1 out of 10 times a guy in a wheelchair shows up. Because they always do the headshots and everything, and then it's like, hey, it shouldn't be a problem. We got along so good on the phone. This
should have
isn't a
Jason show
problem
up in a
for you, is
wheelchair.
it? And then the girl can't walk away and go. They have to go, no, it's not a problem, and then just hang out with them for an hour, wheel them up and down. I always wanted to get like a quadriplegic, put them on Match.com or one of the Harmony or whatever, and then just have them Skyping people constantly. So that they're like, it looks like they're normal because it's just a head thing. And then they could be all romantic when they're hanging up. Like, no, you hang up. No. I think this is the sweetest guy on earth. No, you hang up. No.
I don't think you understand.
Yeah. And then we just come up behind and give him his pointy stick hat and he can hang up himself.
Did I ever tell you about the gig I did with the pointy stick hat guy?
I'm assuming there's more than one guy.
No. There was a guy. I did a show in Pittsburgh when I first started doing comedy, and this guy, they said, "Hey, we have a special guest tonight, and all the TV stations are coming to film it, so we're putting him on." And I said, so they introduced me. He's in a wheelchair. He doesn't speak. He's got a helmet on with a rod coming off of it, and he's got a synthesizer on front of his wheelchair. So I have to introduce the show, bring this guy on, and then he's going to do his act, where he presses buttons on his keyboard, and things come out like he'll go, "Hello, my name is the Laughing Unicorn." So he's got all these bits like, "When I was in high school, I was voted most likely to get the handicap parking spot." So he's got all these bits. So I'm supposed to introduce him, bring out. The problem is all the people from his home that have like similar disorders are at the show, and they're all sitting throughout the audience, and they all have these spasms. So when I'm doing my set, they're all like in the middle of a joke, they'll be going, so I'm being heckled by these like horrible spasms, and I can't say to them, "Shut the fuck up," because they're like, "What are you, retarded?" Because they're like, so wait, so he goes on, and he's doing his whole thing, and he'll do a bit, and it'll be like, "When I was in high school, I was voted," and then he'll do a spasm, and he'll like, "Ah!" and then he'll hit the wrong button and be like, I like green beans.
And that one he was voted most likely to like.
So none of it was cohesive. So I'm laughing hysterically. So I go back on stage and I'm laughing, and the audience then turns on me like I'm the most evil guy. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? This was the biggest train wreck of and they're all just fucking yelling through the whole show. It was brutal.
What was that? You told me a story once about myself, and I'm too drunk to remember. Me in Atlanta and a guy with a wheelchair.
I just did Atlanta. I just did a gig in Atlanta, and I went to this bar afterwards.
Now, I will say honestly, I don't remember doing this, but it sounds like something.
I sent you to. I have some friends down there, like in every city. You know, you have
I
those
took an
guys.
ecstasy tablet off the floor of a toilet.
No,
covered in
it was
piss.
Oxycontin.
Oh,
That's better.
The guy Jim was partying all night. He was so fucked up. The guy goes, I handed him an Oxycontin tablet, and he goes, he dropped it like in the beer shit on the floor of a bathroom. And he goes, I saw him go for it. And I went, no! And it was already in his mouth.
It's Oxycontin.
He said 2 minutes later, he goes, I think I have to go home.
yeah,
But,
mouthful of hepatitis.
But I guess Jim was really out of his mind, and they're sitting in a bar and they're just talking, and all of a sudden, a guy in a wheelchair comes in, and my friend looks at the guy and goes, oh no. And Jim sees the guy in the wheelchair and goes, come here, you crippled cunt. And he said, so him and the guy in the wheelchair are arguing with each other. And the guy's like, I'm better at you than this. I'm better than this. And Jim goes, yeah, but you'll never be a better stand-up comedian.
And he won't be. Not unless science really improves.
That's like Christopher Reeve's foundation gets to work.
Christopher Reeve, when he was saying like that, he goes, I will walk again. And everyone in America was like inspired. And I was there going, where's the person going, nah, you really won't. Nah, not happening. I always like that Christopher Reeve at the very end of his life looked like Lex Luthor, like the classic one.
You know, it is ironic.
Yeah, the classic one from the cartoons, the bald one.
Didn't he have a... who's got the funny story? Oh, Joe Matarese. There's this comedian, Joe Matarese. There's a great story. Joe Matarese was at some gig somewhere, like some big Broadway musical or something, and he's... Joe's at this Broadway show or something, and you know when you're in a show and you hear somebody talking, you get pretty angry. Well, there's somebody behind him making all these noises, and he's like, and he's just like, oh, jeez, this guy's ruining the show. Finally, he turns around and he goes, would you shut the fuck up? And it's Christopher Reeve goes. But I think this is a good time to introduce our guest. We have our first guest on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Brian is an entrepreneur, a man of the world, a Renaissance man, a porn director, a softcore porn director,
yes. Closet heterosexual.
Yeah, I've tried about 14 times. It never took.
I met Brian.
Smells like fish.
I met Brian in New York City about 10 years ago?
Yeah, about 10 years.
10 years ago, I'm doing stand-up. You know when you get off stage, you don't want to talk to anyone but another comic?
Yes.
He came up to me and kept talking to me, and I figured he must be like an open micer, and he wouldn't stop. And I'm like, who is this guy? And I figured he was an open micer, but he was too funny. And I'm like, why wouldn't he go away? And he just kept talking. I'm like, this guy's funny. And
you were nice. You gave me your phone number, and we sort of maintained this weird phone. I'd see you sometimes, and you'd show me pictures of you with your cock on your. That's when I kind of knew we were friends, 5 years ago. These grainy 1.3 megapixel pictures of your dick shoved in some girl from Sydney's mouth with her chapped lips, wrapped around your uncircumcised member.
I'm circumcised.
No,
down those pictures.
Yeah, he's circumcised.
It's just because you felt uncircumcised. Oh.
Are you uncircumcised?
I'm circumcised.
How are you circumcised?
All Australians were circumcised that were born in the 70s. It's something to do with wind and sand and heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a grant too from the mother country.
Are you circumcised?
Yeah, more or less.
Not
More or
one
less.
Jew in the country and fucking foreskins everywhere.
Are you?
I am circumcised. Yeah, I am. I totally am. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to have that turtleneck.
Are you? You're not circumcised?
No, I am circumcised.
Oh, no, I'm
I don't like.
circumcised.
I don't even like watching porn. I don't need dick maintenance in my life. They always say you got to pull the head down of the skin and clean it with a.
Well, they reckon it's more sensitive
Yeah.
with
I
the
can't even wear
foreskin.
corduroys. I don't even need to be more
This
sensitive.
is the thing. I don't want more sensitivity.
Thank you.
You know,
Yeah, I'll come quicker.
I can come quicker if I'm masturbating myself or I get the puncher in the face. And you know, these are the things that get it for me. It's not the rubbing of the cock.
And when I'm in the room with you, that's what makes me come.
I have actually, like, I'm married, and I will actually still come putting my dick in my wife. Like,
we all do. We all do.
yeah, listen, she said she's going to cut that out, by the way. Okay, right. I said no more Australians or blacks.
Wait, you still?
It's okay, okay, blacks.
Yeah,
Wait, you
very rare.
You still have sex with your wife?
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 small children. And
Well, you have sex with them too?
she has a
greedy
no,
bastard.
wait, not until they're at least 7. Come on. I always say like with Los
Sex before
Angeles.
8 or it's too late.
What's that?
Sex before 8 or it's too late.
Oh God, it's too
Yeah,
much.
they get all lippy with the cops then, don't they?
They really do. No, like the clits come out. It's kind of like, you know.
Oh.
No, is that too much?
That's
They're my
disgusting. I thought
kids.
they were
Jason.
boys.
No, you ever wipe shit off a little kid's dick? It's just creepy.
When my nephew was very young, I once changed his nappy, and when they just shit themselves, and
it's all over their
there's
little
cock,
balls.
there's shit all over their balls and everything
You know,
like that.
I was in the Philippines. You know what? No, I won't. I won't do that one.
I just think that like without adults, these things would just die.
They would.
yeah.
Yes, you
That's
couldn't
what we're
leave them in
for.
the wild.
Their piss holes would get impacted with so much baby shit
Yeah.
that their piss would go right up their little dick holes
Urethra.
and poison their organs.
Really?
So
Is
it's
that
good that we're
true?
here.
Yeah, but their
as
organs
adults.
are already new and fresh and everything. They could probably
Do
put up.
enough. You put enough baby piss on a liver, it'll die.
If anyone wants to write to us how much shit a baby's organ can take, I'd be interested to find the actual.
Yeah,
But do it in metric and also the other.
Write us on
readings.
Facebook and don't send it as a message. Post it.
Yeah, exactly.
Post it on our wall.
Right.
We want to know how much shit a baby's organs can take.
I'm guessing an imperial gallon of baby urine will knock out a spleen.
And you don't even need your spleen.
No, it's one of those loser organs.
Yeah.
I had a friend in a car accident. The doctors came out and they said to me, and all my friends were like 16, they went really bad, but we've had to remove his spleen. And we all just for a while just stood there and went, oh, fuck. And then the doctor left and we all went to each other, what's a spleen? Like we did, we all went, what's a spleen? What's happened?
We used to do this thing where we'd run down the beach and wherever we'd see a hot girl, we'd kind of like pratfall in front of her and just like make an ass out of ourselves. And it was a big inside joke between our friends. And then one of our friends who had never done it ran down the beach and did it. And we're like, wow, he's acting really good. You know, like he's rolling around the ground going, oh. And we're like, this is really good. And the girl walked away and he's still doing it. And we're like, you can stop. And he's like, oh. And then
Ruptured something?
spleen gone.
You just do that?
I remember when I was a kid, you have these like, you know when you say something stupid when you're upset or you've hurt yourself?
Jason?
And you don't know it. So I went to catch a cricket ball, and they're like slightly harder than say baseball, right? People don't
Of
know.
course, yeah, much
Right.
harder.
So I reach my arm out, and it hits off the end of my wrist, and then it bounces back into my face, right? Which already looks awkward as it was, and it hit my front tooth, and my front tooth was a bit wobbly, and I meant to stand up and go, oh fuck, my front tooth, and what I said was, oh fuck, my favorite tooth. And then for like 20 years now, I still have my mates come to me going, how's your favorite tooth doing?
I've had a lot of questionable sex in my life. Like,
Really?
you know, younger.
What do you mean
and-
questionable?
You want to do this?
No, let's do this. Let's
All
do
right,
this.
I'll do it. I'll
Does
try to-
questionable mean that you weren't sure if you had it?
I'll keep it. No, questionable in that people can't believe that I've done this and they question even knowing who I am once I've told them that I've done
Well,
these
wait, we need
things.
to set you up a little better. Could you describe what he's wearing right now?
He's dressed like Easter.
right.
He
I'm
looks
all
like
bloody when there's
he
hate
looks,
in it.
he looks like the gay Brooks Brothers catalog.
He looks like Ed Helms' role in The Office.
Yeah, he's wearing an Argyle V-neck sweater. What is that?
Lacoste.
An alligator
Yes,
Lacoste,
Lacoste, yeah.
with a pink Oxford on underneath. Khakis that look like they were pressed with love.
Slip-on shoes with tan socks.
Yes, slip-on loafers.
I dress like the chubby kid from Caddyshack. That's kind of my look. Like,
Are you going for that? Or
I don't know.
is-
It's just like I'm just white and I kind of celebrate it. Like if I was black, I would have this sideways hat on and like the jeans down across my ass crack, and I have 9 kids I don't talk to, and like, but like, you know, I'm like a Caucasian white waspy guy, and I just like, who cares? And plus, I fucking hate living in Los Angeles, and everyone out here, you a little bit included, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry. Wears these like weird affliction T-shirts and
I
skinny
have
jeans.
never worn an
Yeah, but
affliction.
No, but
like,
you're one of those douchebags.
yeah,
I'm
like
not one of
embroidered
those.
shirts and stuff, and you know, like, so I kind of rebel against the entire sort of thing out here. But
I think you look great.
You're so sweet to say that.
Thank you.
But my point is only that I dress like this because I'm celebrating. Like if I was Jewish, I'd have the payas and the Talmud and the whole thing. Like I don't know, if I was Mexican, I'd look at the sound guy. Like I would just do the whole thing. Like, you know. So, But let me tell you, I got a quick funny story about something awful I've done sexually.
Okay.
Which you may be able to beat me with, but I usually can trump whatever happens.
No,
So,
I don't think I can.
all right, I can power through this because I know this is your show.
No, take your time.
All right, thank you. So, all right, when I was 20 years old,
the 80s were a good decade.
I know, isn't that great? Exactly, right? You kids remember Kaja Gugu? Do you, Lindsay, you dumb cunt? Sorry, that's the producer. Big tits, big nose.
Even the Mexicans laughing at the dumb Jew.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be all right, kid.
No, she's
right. So anyway, my point is, so I did this, and this is like 91. So what? I'm 37. So I used to sell.
Wait. You're 37.
Yeah.
Can I just mention also that he looks like, what would you say?
Fucking hell.
63.
Yeah, I look terrible. I know.
Jeez, you had some rough sex.
I know. It's the chin
you get
blossoms,
them-
the toupee.
Do you get them to punch you and cut your face
I
up
did,
with a
yeah,
blunt
no.
needle?
I had a face. In Tijuana. We did a facelift, and it was just didn't. It came as a combo with like a meal, so I knew it wasn't going to be a thing.
It
but-
was a combo. It was a combo with a meal.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I used to sell pot, and I would also occasionally sell cocaine, right? And I had a
And your
bike,
body.
and I would go all over Manhattan, and I had a fucking beeper, and it had my phone number on it. I used to give a card out, and whatever, people would page me, and I would ride around Manhattan with a backpack full of weed, about a half a pound, and occasionally cocaine, which is more of a boutique item, right?
How did you get around? Taxi? Or
No.
Or
I
is
had
that
a
a
Trek
bicycle?
mountain bike. And I'd ride around in like a pair of Tevas and like short shorts and a t-shirt.
He delivered drugs in the same way that the people used to tell their parents that they've died at war.
I come
Like
to the
that
door with my hat in my
messenger.
hand, right?
The messenger.
Yeah. So anyway, so I would go around the town, and then so there was a couple of guys that would call me. They weren't friends of mine, but they were like older dudes. They were bartenders. They were cooler guys, whatever. So I got a page once from this guy. Let's just call him Mark McKelvey. And so Mark McKelvey sends me this page, and it says 911, which means like get the fuck down there. You know what I mean?
I thought it meant the towers were falling.
Right, exactly. Jews. But so I
I like to disassociate myself with that
Yeah,
comment.
I also
Right,
would
right.
because
We're trying to
I don't
get
know about
work
you,
as
but we
actors.
actually have
yeah.
careers going on.
right,
We are living in Hollywood, trying to be in movies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Production deal with Mel Gibson. You guys go fuck yourself. We're
Australia.
coming back.
And again, we're
Right.
separated from you.
Irregardless, as the people say. So I basically get a page. I call Mark, and he goes, "Hey," he used a code word. He goes, "Do you have any coke on you?" And I go,
Did
yeah.
he say Hitler at the end of that?
No, he didn't.
no, he said,
We
"Do
do
you have any
Goebbels,
coke?"
you know what I mean? Hitler's a special occasion. Let's do minister propaganda. So he goes, "Do you have any blow on you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, come on down." So I'm in Port Authority. I pedal down, get to his apartment, get upstairs, bring my bike, and like I looked like a little piece of chicken when I was that young. Like I really
can
did.
just imagine.
Oh, I couldn't if I go in the bathrooms in Port Authority, I come out 2 weeks later, just coated in newspaper glue. Like it was
barbecue sauce all
Yeah,
over you.
exactly. And chicken wing dick meat. And so anyway, so I'm like, I show up at his door, right? Come in, and it's really quiet. And this is actually a good story for you because the girl was Australian. You get to hear my female Australian accent. Which is always a
I'm
treat.
looking forward to it.
Come in, lights are down, he's there, there's like a candle burning. For some reason, there's like a pot of coffee on, it's like dark. And I come in, and he's there, and he's with this girl, very attractive girl. She's in like a mini skirt, and he goes, "Brian, I want you to meet Claudia. I met her on the subway," which is always a great way to meet a girl. He goes, "I met her on the subway." And he goes, "How are you?" She goes, "You're the boy with the gear." And I go, I don't know what the fuck is gear.
Gear is what they call coke in
coke,
Australia.
right. And then Mark comes up to me and he goes, "You have any blow?" So I pull it out, I put it on the top of his like fucking 19-inch tube television, and and I'm with them, and they don't ask me to leave, then they'll give me money. So I start doing the lines with them. I'm doing a line, she's doing a line, he's doing a line. He goes into the bathroom. I'm alone with this like smoking hot 28-year-old Australian girl who turned out to be
First off, there's no smoking hot girls.
No, we have some.
Yeah, she was stocky, but I could tell she had big fake tits. And when you're like 18,
Rough hands, rough farmer hands.
calloused printership apprentice hands for sure. Yeah, exactly right. So anyway, so Mark leaves the room, and this girl comes over to me, starts making out with me.
Just like that.
Just like what comes over, and she's like, "You're the boy with the gear," and she's all high, and she puts down with like her Newport, which is always a good sign, and so she's making out with me, and so I'm making out with her. Then Mark comes back in the room and sees me making out with the girl that he picked up on the train, and he looks at me, and I go,
How
"Hey, I'm
ugly
really sorry."
was this other guy? Fuck
What's
yeah.
that?
How ugly was Mark?
He was a good-looking guy, short, but very good-looking.
Okay.
I mean, who can tell? But so he comes back in the room, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Dude, I'm really sorry." I said, "Is this okay?" Because even at that age, I've been involved in threesomes and shit like a couple of times anyway. So he goes, "Are you going to charge me for the coke?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Just stay. I won't be able to get it up anyway." So, like, fast forward 3 hours later, I'm buck naked. Mark is buck naked. I've got a hard-on that you could hang a winter coat on, like one of those weird floppy Coke hard-ons, Lindsay. You know what I mean? And like it's just sticking out. And Mark is sort of hard. And I don't mean to brag, and I'm not bullshitting, but I have like a big dick. I have like a thick, long dick. I really do. And I'll show it to anybody except the sound guy. Because
I want to see it. I want to see it.
It's got to be fluffed up. No, Lindsay, if you fluff it, I'll show it.
No, but I
How do you
can.
fluff a dick?
You
How do you
hard. Yeah.
Get a dick hard. He needs to get it hard.
Right.
That'll be a whole nother episode.
Oh my God,
Wow, I
Lindsay.
feel like I'm invited back on Carson's couch. So anyway,
Jason, take Lindsay in the other room and show her how to fluff.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm there. She's got all of her clothes off except for her thong. She's big fake tits. She's short or whatever. As I go to take her bottoms off, she goes, "Before you do that, I need to tell you something," which is probably the worst thing you ever hear in the English language. Like before you take a girl's panties off, she needs to tell you something. So we brought her both back up and look at her, and she goes, "I used to be a man." And I look at her, and I look at her, and I was like, you know what? She does have kind of big hands. Like, you kind of noticed it. But then I had a big fucking weird hard on, and she looked good. And standing up, it was a racing stripe. It looked fine standing up. I'll get to that in a minute. So she's standing up with this racing stripe. I look at Mark, and we do the classic shrug. I was like, and I kind of whispered to him.
Wait, I
was
just
like,
want to mention right now that Colin, our 22-year-old producer, is the look on his face. He's in absolute horror right now. He knows where this is going, and he doesn't like it.
I like how he just said we do the classical shrug.
Yeah.
Like you've been in this situation before, and you're just giving us a, what are you going to do?
And I want to mention that you were supposed to bring us porn stars today. There were going to be porn stars to play Truth or Dare with you. But no, we're getting a story about you fucking a guy. That's what we get.
So anyway, so she's and I give my friend Mark the classic shrug, and I kind of whispered to him, I'm like, look, I got to get rid of this I got to get the fucking boner out of me. Like, let's try this. If it gets too weird, we'll stop. But let's just give this a shot. She's
So
still
not only you're going to fuck the tranny, but you're going to have a dude do it with you.
Well, we weren't gonna like double vag that fucking manhole. Like we were gonna. I would.
Hang on, what did the area look like when she took the pants off?
So here's the thing. So then we just kind of shrug, and then here's the thing. When you have a threesome, as you guys have had threesomes, whatever, you pick your side. You don't like, and once you get that side is your side. So Mark.
No,
okay,
I've always rotated. I've done it once with two guys, and I rotated around.
Yeah, no,
I don't do it with
I did it with a guy who was a fan. He stared in my eyes the whole time when we were fucking her. And he looked at me when he was about to come, and before he came, he went, "Jim Jeffries, I can't fucking believe it." It was off-putting.
Well, Mark basically.
I had a friend who was doing the threesome, the Eiffel Tower thing, where you can high five over
We
the
call it
girl.
spit roasting in the UK.
And while he's doing it, he said he saw the guy's look, like he had the mouth and his buddy had the pussy, and he said he saw the guy like making the look that he was gonna come, and he saw the guy pull out just as he was gonna come, and he went, "No!" And he said it shot all the way over her back and hit him in the chest like a bullet.
Well, I was, because we fucked her a couple of times. The second time we fucked her, I was.
Did you sign autographs in between?
The thing was, I met him at a festival many years ago. I'm not going to get into details. And we went to this music festival, and I was like on heaps of drugs, and I'm leaving the festival. And all I see is this guy over the fence go, "Jim Jeffries, fucking hell, it's Jim Jeffries," right? And I went, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, "Oh, fuck off, douchebag," right? And then he goes, I'm on a stag do. I've got a limousine filled with hookers and a mountain of coke," and I scaled the fence. I jumped over this fence.
It was like Nightcrawler.
And then these hookers were dreadful and everything. We went to a strip club, and then there was some girl from Argentina who recognised who I was, and he set it all up. And anyway, my girlfriend's probably listening, so
Let's go back to
All
your-
right. So anyway, when you get
Wait, we want to hear about the pussy.
Well, I'm gonna get there right now. Okay. So basically, like we both take a moment, and Mark just goes right for her mouth. So we put her on her hands and knees,
Right, well,
and she's bending back there, and I'm also the kind
Stop
of guy.
calling her she.
She
Yeah.
or he, yeah, I was just gonna ask.
No, she used
had
to be a guy.
She had a female passport.
Call it it.
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 Yeah, that
I don't really
No,
think it
no,
matters.
no,
I'm
no.
telling the story. I'll call it it. At this point,
No,
I'm
I think
embarrassed.
it's a she. If you get the job done, you're a fucking
Yeah.
she.
No,
so
it's an
he's
it.
there, and he's getting, and I look up, he's getting the blowjob of his life. Like she's deep throating, balls, ass play, the whole thing. And I look at the back of her, and what had gone from being this racing stripe now looked like they had split her balls with like a razor blade and squeezed out the ball juice and kind of like glued the balls up to make pussy lips. But I'm the kind of guy, if I'm in a restaurant, I'm going to order the frog legs. So I
Yeah.
decide I'm going to eat this dude's cunt, right? So she's right there, right?
Oh my God.
And I got her right over, and I kind of go to open it up, and it was almost like it was sort of like there was a faint sweat sock odor, and I put my tongue kind of in there, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this.
His high school baseball bat fall out.
No, it tasted like a wet balloon. Like it was like this sort of like.
Did you tell this at your wedding on how you met her?
This egregious scar factory. No, the Laugh Factory. It killed. But so anyway, so I do that, and she looks behind me like I'm a pervert. She's like kind of gives me this funny look, like goes from giving this like sloppy saliva nicotine blowjob, and looks over her left broad shoulder at the dude behind her sticking his tongue up her cunt, and she just kind of gives me a wink, like, and it just was too much. So I lean back, and we had Magnums out because I don't want to get her pregnant, and I put this rubber on.
You're talking about the ice creams.
And I put the thing on, right? And I've still got, as much of a hard on as I did before I knew that she was used to be a guy. So I go to put my dick in, and I kind of lean up with one leg, and I kind of go on the side, and I get in about maybe a quarter of the way, and I feel like resistance. There's something in there. So I pull out and I kind of put my hand in on the side to explore, and I put it in. It was kind of like Fantastic Voyage because it was kind of like warm. It felt like seltzer water in there, and it was kind of warm. And I put my hand in, and I feel like bulbous. And one thing I can say is it felt like frozen gummy bears. So I put my hand in, and I try to push it to the side, and I try to get my dick in around the frozen gummy bears, right? But it keeps snapping back. And I figured out what happened is that whoever docked her, they didn't scoop out her like dick meat enough. She was still full of dick meat, which was the scar tissue. So I kind of I decided that I probably have an 11-inch dick. I can't fuck this dude's like pussy, right? So I pull out.
Ass. You gotta go for the
ass.
ass.
I look at the ass, and the ass, it literally looked like, like the Chronicles of Narnia. This is like the bad side of Narnia. It was like this giant, blown out, ashen, like veneered hole. You know what I mean? With like litter and a recycling sign.
Like it was a tire.
Yeah, it was a dude's ass. Like that was, make no mistake. Like whatever, when you buy a Honda, you don't go for the navigation. Like she didn't go for the ass package. Like this was a dude's ass, right? So I just decided I'm gonna put my dick in, and I throw it in, and it gets sucked in. It's like there's like a vortex in there, and I go in
like an airplane bathroom toilet.
Right. But instead of blue liquid, it was like a brown viscosferous pudding made of shame, And
I gotta stop you. That was the bit that upset you the most, was the arsehole. After you felt dick meat.
And frozen gummy bears.
And then you're like the arsehole. Now that was one step too far.
I did a couple of bumps.
Hold
off
on,
of her
I've
broad
never
shoulders.
seen Jim Jeffries get disgusted by anything in my entire life. And this is a man who shoved many, many things in his own asshole.
I felt bad for it.
I had to retire my ass from shoving things in there.
Yeah, well, I would probably, your asshole probably better than her asshole.
My asshole's all swollen on one side. If you show me your cock, I'll show you my asshole. But my asshole looks like it's had a stroke.
Yeah.
It is. It's all swollen on one side, just damaged.
So I just start fucking this fucking cat food fucking shit pipe, right? And I just start throwing it in, and it was so funny because her asshole was so blown out that even my girth and my length, she couldn't give me any friction. So I got my hand on these wide haunches, and at this point, you can totally tell this used to be a guy. Like, there's no mistake at all. Like, the gloves are off right now. Like, Cassius Clay has beat Joe Frazier. Like, so I've got and I'm just trying to push this, at this point, dude's ass down into like a V to create enough tension that I can just bust a load.
Can I tell you something at this moment? You didn't have to do anything.
I had to get rid of this load. No, It was like I had to get rid of this load, and the load was angry. It was like my vast deferens knew I took them to a shitty amusement park, and they were convinced that we had to get out of here because the roller coaster was broken. So they just wanted to go home. The semen I had just wanted to get out of me. So
I could have wanked in the corner.
It was too much. It was too purple and throbbing. I didn't want to touch it. I thought the head was
Very,
too low.
very rarely in my life do I, when I get it up and the cum's about to come out, do I let it go back down. In this case, I would have said, we're going to call it a game.
You know what I would have
We
been
would've
most
retired.
what I would have been most nervous about a situation like that is like once I shagged a girl and she called me daddy halfway through, and I was like, oh, don't do that because I didn't want it to become a thing that I was after. Then if you have like the truck tire asshole and the fucking dick meat, And then if you enjoy it, then you're always fucking chasing that high for the rest of your life.
Look, if you're climbing Mount Everest, if you lose an oxygen tank, you just get another one. You got to just get to the summit, K2. I mean, that's kind of how I looked at it at that point. Like, I had to get rid of this load, and I was almost there. So I made enough friction with the sphincter where I was able to, like, rub the right side, and finally I could feel my balls, like, just churning. It was like some satanic blender, like, you know, like making this baby meat, you know. And so I finally, like, I come in the rubber. I pull the rubber off. It was like that movie Aliens where the blood, like, goes through the floor. Like, I pull it off and, like, spin it around my hand and throw it on the wall. I think because I was doing coke off her manly shoulder blades the whole time. And I basically throw it on the wall, and it, like, sticks there for a minute, like,
It actually burns through the wall.
yeah, exactly, like Aliens, right?
And you know this episode's going to be archived for your children.
It's fine. You know, I've already done parent teacher night.
That's my
Well,
daddy.
they need to know how they were born.
So I pull it out.
I just picture you swinging a condom
yeah.
around
I'm
your
just-
head
I'm just
while
looking-
your child's going, "That's my daddy."
I'm just looking forward to when you tell your kids about the birds and the bees. And you
Right.
start off with, well, there's a man and there's a woman, and if they love each other, but then there's also...
a caterpillar.
yeah.
Daddy once put his cock
Yeah.
in.
But there
I
were
once-
frozen gummy bears inside that caterpillar.
I once chopped a pig up with an axe and fucked the wound, and that's what Daddy did. I also like to golf.
If we could have done a post game, like a Monday morning quarterback on that, I would have loved to sit her down and be like, "Look, your tits are great. You need to get that dick meat scooped out of you, and you need to get your asshole cleaned up. Like they got to make that thing pink. They must be able to. They made a pussy out of her dick lips. Like,
Would have you rather just fuck the ass and still had the cock and balls there? Would have that been better
no,
for
no.
you?
I
If they had
really,
the nice
the cock and
tits?
balls really would have ruined it for me. It looked good standing up, but like I said, it did look like they had drained the balls and made lips and kind of put them
I've
up.
seen that with girls.
It
though,
doesn't
where
just look like that. That's what they did.
That's what I'm saying. I have no. Yeah. No, I
How
can see-
how do they make a vagina out of a dick and balls? That's
Well,
pretty
yeah.
much what they do.
How do they make a cock? Do they do it the other
No,
way?
they can't make cocks. They can't.
Yeah, that's why
They
lesbians are so
hold their
moody.
they hold their nose and they blow in their mouth as hard as they can, and their vagina insides out.
They must have a pump type of thing, right? Or they just wear strap-ons. Just wear a strap-on.
So anyway, just to wrap this stupid thing up. So I basically jump up off this girl. I'm covered in sweat. I go in the other room to my friend's bed. I lay down on the bed and I look over, and my friend, I see him like making out with her and moving over, putting her missionary with no rubber to like fuck her. And like he was so thrilled to like, I guess he didn't see me working so hard on my end, but he has a smaller dick than me. So I see him getting over, and the last thing I remember is him like pumping away on top of this dude in this man pussy, and she looked really thrilled. So it was kind of weird way. It was kind of a nice closure.
Now,
Now,
wait.
Ovaries
Is the end of this story going to be, and her name was Mrs. Jeffries?
hey,
No, we
talking about my mum there.
no, this was definitely a dude. It kind of went as it went
Could
on
be
and
an
on.
ant.
It's like when you watch Harry Potter, you're like, oh, that dude's Voldemort.
Now, you said you show your cock to anyone. If you go just fluff it a bit in the kitchen, will you come back out with it?
I want to see if you have 11
Because that
inches.
can't be there. I want to see if you're
honestly,
picking it up.
I would show you my
I don't want to see it full strength. Put a bit of porn on the laptop for him and
No,
let him go.
it's not. You know, I've been.
He directs porn. It's not going to do anything. For
Yeah, at this point, I really need to see a puppy being strangled to get a bone. Like,
How about if
You
I
and Jim
punch
should
Lindsay
hang
in the
out more
face?
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Can you just
I
tell?
need attractive
Here's
things.
another story that I.
Oh,
you're good looking. It's not for me and mine. Look at what I'm wearing. It's not your-
yeah, and he fucked the guy with an inside-out dick,
And I'm not attractive.
and you're not attractive enough.
Horrible.
You're
It is
enough,
horrible.
but just not enough for all these dudes. And
I
frankly,
want to mention I'm in a room.
sound guy and I, if you don't
There,
mind.
there is about
I
8
like
men.
big gums. I always have.
There is 7 men in the room, and Lindsay making it 8.
Brian called me while I was in Australia this year.
Shouldn't have laughed at that so much.
I'm lying in bed and I get a text message from Brian, and all it is a picture of like this naked black girl spreading her pussy lips, and he just the title he put Hollywood, and then he calls me and I'm lying in bed and he starts to tell me a story. Will you tell that story about the girl, the masturbation video?
No, don't tell, because it's got a word in it that will get us in trouble.
Well,
I know
bleep
the
it.
story.
We'll bleep it. We'll bleep the word.
What word is that? Is this when the girl got raped at Tom Jones' house?
No, I would like to know that story.
No, you mean the one with the military thing, right?
No.
Masturbation one.
Fuck that something pussy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't say that, right?
Well, bleep it. We'll bleep it till
all
you
right,
say it.
so basically, to everybody, I produce like these softcore porn things that make a little bit of money, and I put them on in-demand pay-per-view. So we had this black girl that we don't really work with black girls that often because, frankly, with black girls, their hair is a pain in the ass. Always fucking with it because it's a weave or a wig, and they always have to go between scenes, and they have weird nails, and they can't pull it apart enough, and it's just like black girls are more trouble sometimes than they're worth. So we're doing this.
We're not even talking about
We're gonna
sex
believe
now.
that one.
No, you can't say black women aren't as much trouble as they were.
I mean for these sexual things.
You saying because they're high maintenance?
Yeah, because of the
Yeah.
weave and everything else. I'm happy to work with them, but it just eats up a day. You're
Yeah.
trying to produce a thing in a day, and when they've got a fake nail stuck in their labia or something, you got to reshoot that and
No,
rewrite it.
you can't. We can't. Me and Eddie have to.
We have careers.
What's the problem? What is this going on fucking Nickelodeon? I had no idea. I'm like,
No. As long as me and Eddie,
We're not saying anything.
Yeah, we're not. You keep going.
all right. So anyway, so I tell this. We're gonna wrap it up, because I gotta.
No. We still
you
got
have
time. We
nowhere
still
to
got
go.
time.
We
No,
like
no,
it.
no.
Call me a cab. by the
Don't
way.
you
Jason,
go
call me a
anywhere.
cab.
No.
Don't you go
I'm
anywhere.
I'm not going
No,
anywhere.
no.
But it's like a cab will be a while. Daddy needs to go to the strip club. So and wash away my sins. So anyway, so
God,
this
this-
black girl is sitting on the couch, and I say to her, like, what they do is I make these masturbation videos. They're called Solo Sweeties. Thank you very much.
Solo
And
Sweeties.
She's laying there and she's playing with herself, and we don't do music over top because that would be cheesy. So we don't do music. So we've got it laying there.
These are classic.
These are classic. It's like I Claudius, but with black girls with fingers get stuck in their labias.
Avatar.
Yeah. So she's laying there and she's playing with herself and she's not talking. And I kind of stop and I tell my shooter, I go, listen, honey. I always say honey because it's like really creepy. I feel like the fat guy in Boogie Nights. Can I see it? Can I see it? So I go to her, I said, sweetheart, do me a favor. I said, we need you to verbalize a little bit. I need you to talk about this and bring me somewhere. Like start with like, and then kind of build up somewhere. So she goes, all right. Because that's how they talk. All right. So she says that to me, right? So
I hear they're very rhythmical as well.
they are. Oh, don't, yeah. But this is not, don't take it out of context, anybody. And so she starts, so me like, yeah.
How could anyone take that out of context?
So we go 3, 2, 1, and I point at her, and she immediately goes, oh, daddy, fuck the pussy. My pussy's so wet for you, daddy. And she starts like taking 3 fingers going, pussy need a dick in it. Pussy. And I go, okay. I said, there's got to be a medium between like, small and extra large. I said, I like to fuck my pussy, but can we not say and can we try getting your fist out of your pussy? And to her credit, because we're pros, okay? She pulled her fist out. We have baby wipes, okay?
Yes.
Pulled her fist out, and she basically went back, and then she said, fuck this. I said, you can do 2 okay? You can say 2 because I figure with in-demand
That
pay-per-view.
would ruin most girls.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't give me like 7 right on top of the thing. Like, going to have a pussy. So we just stopped it right on top. And she did the scene, and we did great. And I honestly feel like I never marched on Selma, you know what I mean? But that was my civil rights moment right there.
Oh my God.
You just let Rosa Parks sit in the front of the bus.
Yeah. Right.
I had a wet dream.
Right. Yeah, right.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
God. I mean, there was Obama being elected,
Yeah.
and then there was you stopping her from racially, calling her pussy racial.
That
names.
was-
Like maybe
was-
fuck my colored pussy. You know what I mean?
No. That wouldn't be right.
That's not appropriate?
But you know what I think about is like you edited that, but there's probably that video could have probably sold really well down south.
No, but she was empowering I don't want to sound like Dr. Laura, but she was empowering the word. She was like, because she told me before the scene that she only bangs black guys, and she was like, I love dick, and she was like, it wasn't like, so it was a weird thing. It was like a cultural thing that's happening between her.
Like a weird thing, kind of like this story.
Is this before she was dating Mel Gibson?
No, she was she told me, I asked her to tell me a sex story, and she told me about a blow bang she did at a party.
What's a blowbang?
Come on, really?
Just gang bang with.
Yeah, blow job. Right.
Why do you guys say come on? Like
Well, you can't figure it out.
Right.
Blow bang.
Yeah. And I asked her, I said, did you swallow it? She goes, I didn't want to spill it.
I didn't want. Okay.
Yeah.
I was at
There we
a
go.
thing called the Pussy Marathon once. A buddy of mine ran a nightclub in New York City called Culture Club. Do you remember Culture
Of
Club?
course, down on Canal Street.
We're never going to get wives out of this show, Eddie. There's never going to be a woman who listens to this that goes, yeah, they're good guys. I don't know how this cunt's pulled it off.
And he's got like the nicest wife. And she
It's a
wouldn't.
very nice thing that we have.
They got a whole like house and a yard.
There are
and-
sexual positions that she can't even accommodate me with.
What do you mean?
I mean, like I'm too big to do just about anything.
Really?
We have
For
to
her,
see
anyways.
this.
Yeah, I
We
need-
have
I
to
need
see
an
this.
accord with this.
Wait,
I need to see it.
I need to
just
tell.
show it to me
wait,
flashing.
go fluff
No,
it.
but
I'm gonna.
next
I'm gonna tell
What
them.
do you mean go fluff?
I'm
What am I,
gonna-
Ron
If
Jeremy?
you bring it out, I'll hold it with my hand.
you flub me.
This should be called not almost gay. It should be
Yeah,
called gay.
Yeah, no
Just
kidding.
Gay. This
Can we
should-
light some candles, please?
I'll hold it. I won't
No,
wank
it's not
it,
gonna
but I'll-
happen. It's
Can I tell my pussy marathon story on
Please,
the, on the,
I'm
on the
beg your
back
pardon.
end of
more
this?
entertaining than me holding his cock.
No, but I don't want to see that. The Pussy Marathon though was a strip show where these guys at this nightclub on Sunday nights they would have 250 black strippers strip, and the girls would pay to dance, and then guys would come tip them, so they'd make all their money back. And when I went to this thing, it was all famous black guys there. We're like hanging, like John Singleton was there, and some of the Jets, and some
McNabb.
what's his name was there? Snoop Dogg, and all these guys are there, and these chicks are dancing all over. It's a big nightclub, and every chick's naked. And I went there with guys that looked whiter than you.
Not possible.
Two friends of mine that the whitest they can get. One of my friends hadn't been laid in 3 years.
Is he wearing a 3-point
Is that you,
hat?
Jason?
No, I
Is that
got-
you,
I had
Jason?
sex in April.
April.
April. But
With
that was
what?
that was her name. It was 2004.
What did you have sex with?
I had sex with my ex-wife.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Oh, yeah,
That doesn't count.
fucking-
She didn't like it.
She had a cast on her.
Yeah.
She had a cast on her leg.
She had a cast.
So-
She
so
couldn't
you-
run
she
away.
You trapped her. So,
She broke her leg.
so we're at the Pussy Marathon.
Was that from her kicking the shit out of your emotions?
So at the Pussy Marathon, I pick a stripper that all the strippers, black strippers have these big, massive asses. Because the guys in black strip clubs, they like the ass. In white strip clubs, they like the tits. Well, I take this little skinny one and I grab her and I go, hey, my friend over here, I want you to show him a good time. We're in the VIP section that they've roped off. And I go, I want you to show him a good time. How much? And she goes, I'm expecting like $100, $200. She goes, $20. And I'm like, $20, here's 40. I'm like, show him a really good time. So he sits down in the chair and she starts blowing my friend. He hasn't had sex in 3 years, so he's just lying there and she's blowing him. And I'm like, wow, this is good. This happened. It'd be like if we did it for Jason. And I turn around and I look the other way.
We couldn't get that done for 40.
I know. It'd be
No,
thousands.
we'd have to mortgage the house.
So I turn around a minute later, and one of the New York Jets, like offensive linemen, I look back, the girl is blowing him, and is blowing my friend, and this New York Jets lineman has his dick on her face, rubbing her face while she's blowing my friend. And my friend's eyeballs, he looks like he is being held hostage. And he's just in utter terror. And I look at him like, I'm sorry. And he's like, help. So I go over and I tap this New York Jets offensive lineman on the shoulder while he's rubbing his dick on this girl's face. And I go, excuse me, my friend right here is trying to be alone. Could you give them a minute? He goes, oh yeah, no, my bad. And he just walks away. And I'm like, okay, good.
There's other faces to rub his cock
Yeah.
on.
So he gets back. So I turn around again, and it's not like a minute later. I turn back, and he's got his cock back on her face. So after it was all done, I said to my friend, how was it? Like, you finally, you got, he goes, I couldn't come. I couldn't get hard. I'm never going to fuck again.
Yeah, but you should have gone, but you met an NFL player. You can't get that done for $40, eh?
We're getting the wrap-up sign.
Should I do the wrap-up?
Yeah, but we have one other thing to mention, I think.
I think the show's
Hey,
over.
can I just plug my stupid Facebook?
Yes,
No.
you definitely can. No, let him do it. No,
Just go to
he's
Brian
been good
McCarthy.
for it. It's www.kkk.com.
Right, it's true. No, I'm not a racist. It's just how it was. It is what it is.
No, I don't think that
Yes,
was racist.
no,
We're
that's-
going to have to completely edit it out.
It's
but-
fine. Well,
Yeah.
it's not.
I think
said
you're, by the way, defensive end thing. We're like, no, I'm going to be right over here. I think that was a little more offensive, frankly.
You're not
Yeah, a little
racist.
bit. You hit a little step infected for a minute there.
It's not
Wait,
like
mackerel. Is that your friend's dick in your mouth?
You said the N-word more than Michael Richards after he went home after he got in trouble.
I said it in character. Okay, I was
He's
being
editing.
You said
Character.
you said the N-word more than John McCain said it in privacy after he lost Obama.
You said it more than Colonel Sanders when he stole the recipe.
I was in character as a 37-year-old runaway black girl. Okay, I beg your pardon. All right, listen, I'm a method actor. Just
All right,
my stupid Brian McCarthy comedy if you want. BrianPatrickMcCarthy.com. That's it. Thank you guys for.
Wait, Brian Patrick.
Brian Patrick McCarthy, McCarthy. Thank you guys for having me on your show. You're both very funny. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you
We're
for
glad
having
to
us.
have you.
Thank you.
Just before we go, me and Eddie, we both have DVDs and recordings. If you want to see us live, go to our web pages or our Facebook pages. Buy our stuff. You can also listen to the podcast anytime on demand by download on Stitcher app or Stitcher.com. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you next time.
Hey!